Yes, it's like, aha, one last chance to fuck with the power of 3.
Yeah.
Retrograde in full swing, you fools.
Was a retrograde.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Start on a retrograde, end on a retrograde. We are a full circle podcast. That has never changed. Well, welcome back to Power of 3, y'all. In case you can't guess, this is going to be our last episode together. We have started on a retrograde. We are ending on a retrograde. Yeah. So we love you guys. I feel like divorced parents trying to explain to their kids this isn't their fault. This isn't your fault. We love you guys. No, life has been getting super busy. Yeah, life has been super busy for all of us, and we love this project, and we love all of you. But yeah, it's just time to bring this awesome project to a close, tie up our loose ends. So we are going to bring you guys a cute little memorial episode, you know.
So they don't call it a memorial episode is so macabre, but then again,
farewell
so
episode? Farewell episode? I don't know. Whatever way I say it, I still feel kind of sad about it. I'm like, oh, I'm a baby. But, you know, It's not the end of things. It's not the end of our friendship. That's honestly my favorite thing about this is that we're all like, that we're putting this to rest on good terms and like no one's upset at each other. We're not like, you know, fighting or something, you know, not that we fight, but just, you know.
All the fucking time. Don't lie to them. They need
to know the truth about this abusive relationship. Yeah.
No.
No, we made an amazing project and it was time, you know? There's a TikTok sound. Never mind. I'm not even going to try because I can't think of it exactly. So just why did I even start?
Yeah, well, this is a good opportunity for all of you. Jess, are you on TikTok yet? Not yet, right?
I have one. I've done one or two, but not really.
Okay, it's not really your main medium. Well, good. We're going to go ahead and at the end of this episode, we'll just give you guys all of our socials, where to find us, where to follow us, because, you know, like we're saying, we're all so good buddies. We all still want you guys to support all of us and come see all the cool shit we're doing. You know, maybe the end of the podcast, but it won't be the end of doing cool shit as witches, like just out in the world and doing all kinds of fun shit. So yeah, we'll definitely hook you guys up with all our socials. Make sure you guys can find us and come chat with us and all that. But yeah, we are going to talk about some of our favorite memories of the past. I guess it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah,
that's actually a pretty solid chunk of time.
I think we started like on the vernal equinox. Like we started.
Yes. Yep. Aries season right on March 21st. Yes.
Yeah. And we just passed the most recent, the fall, the autumnal. There we go. Equinox. Autumnal equinox. I've been calling it autumn a lot this year as opposed to fall. And it's just really making me feel like, I don't know, just that bitch.
Yes.
Jess is having some minor technical difficulties due to Pluto.
Pluto.
Oh, that's not Pluto?
No, this is. He looks a lot like Pluto, but he is not Pluto. Nope. This fucker.
He looks like a
sweet.
jaguar.
He's sweet. He looks like a regal man, but he wants to sit right on fucking top of everything that I am doing. And so he has to be sitting at my desk, and it's raining cats and dogs outside. And he comes in all fucking wet, jumps right up on all my papers. And then he just does this rolling around thing, like, pay attention to me, love me.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, he's cute. He's asking for that attention.
Mm-hmm. He wants it. He wants it.
He's the king of whores, yeah.
The king of whores.
I don't know about that one.
That would be interesting. Okay, my first memory to look back on is when we did the Aliens episode in season 1.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Because that was the one and only episode that I personally got high for. And I think we were all high for that episode. And it was also during retrograde, a Mercury retrograde. And it was, I mean, it was like 3 high people making a podcast for sure. Like we just kept being like, I don't know, I think this maybe, well, silence.
It's like one of our first ones too. So we're like, the fuck are we doing?
Right. God. I mean, this also reminds me that we definitely had. Ooh, my computer went totally black for a second there, but I'm back. Mercury retrograde. It's gonna be a fun episode. But I remembered that we did like practice podcast episodes. Well, like we met up like a bunch of times beforehand because we're like, if we're gonna record a podcast together, we need to like get used to talking to each other.
Yes, I do remember those like initial video chats before we would actually record. We're like, okay, let's get to know each other. Let's talk. Let's, chat about what direction we want to take this and what colors we like. And yeah, that was really fun. That was nice. It was a cool little, let's get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like dating. It was like dating.
I remember going to the coast. I was still dating Riley's dad at the time. And this was before we had named the podcast. And so I'm like, I have to make sure that I can be at this meeting, but I don't have any internet anywhere that I can like Zoom from because I think we were still using Zoom at that point in time. So like we pulled into the McDonald's parking lot and I had all my notes. I still have the notes too. They're like front and back page of like name ideas. I wish I could find it. Someday I will and I'll share it with you guys.
I know. I've looked at all my papers, like all my notes papers, and I'm just like, should I just keep these in like the archives for like history's sake?
This notebook
is that your notebook?
All things podcast. I mean, it's also everywhere else because I fucking start projects and don't finish them, so they end up in like millions of notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
But most of this notebook is used, and it's all pop notes.
Aw, that's fun. I feel like mine are all over the place. I have a binder for my work stuff, and my pot notes go back to they go back a year. The first note says spooky block.
That's actually in my memories is last year's spooky stories because that was super fun. I enjoyed that.
That was fun. Yeah, actually, I wrote that one down too. The spooky stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It also has more notes, and that's mostly when we were doing our astrology shit.
Oh yeah,
that took a lot of notes.
I got all the hashtags and shit for Instagram.
Oh God, that's like a huge page of hashtags.
Yeah, that's a lot of hashtags, and you wrote them all down by hand.
Yeah, I don't do notes on my phone like I should. It would take less time or whatever, but no, I wrote them all fucking down because I'm like, I don't want to repeat that. We're gonna get seen, bitches.
Yeah, no, I write most everything down by hand too. I'm just impressed by how many hashtags are on that page.
Literally.
Oh, I see the sigil.
The sigil. That was fun.
The sigil episode was good. It's a good one. When was I don't remember when that was, but I recognize the sigil immediately because yours was gorgeous.
I feel like it was late 2019 maybe or early 2020.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I mean 2019, I think that's when we were like, let's do, I can't remember, well, we weren't doing, well, okay, I'm just gonna start over again. My brain was working through some stuff and it was coming out my mouth and none of it made sense. It's like that kid who's like, you ever have a dream where you think you and then you
yes.
and I did it, sometimes that happens to me. But yeah, when we were like, let's do an episode on chaos magic, or I think
I have that in my notes. I have that in my notes.
And then just over the course of like 3 or 4 weeks, we were all like, I think this is what we do.
Are we chaos magicians? Oops.
Become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yes, chaos magic was fun. That was cool. And I loved how it totally devolved into just like us all being like chaos magic. Like it became a group obsession. We're just like, yes.
Yeah, that was a fun collective experience, you know, because we've done a lot of episodes that involve research, you know, time and energy and taking notes. But that was like the only one that we collectively were like, oh, wait, no, wait, we're into this like big time.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me to a ponderance of thought. Had we not had to do so much research for each episode, do you think maybe we would have had more energy to put out more?
I don't know, because then it's like, what do we talk about?
Bitches, I'm sure we would have figured it out.
I mean, you know, I think that there was definitely an aspect of, especially at certain points, well, like, you know, our audience doesn't really know this, but like we've switched recording schedules where we used to record like literally once a week and we'd be on the call for like 2 hours every single week. And then this past season, we have only been doing it once a month. And so we're on the call for a couple hours doing the shorter ones. But I do think that, yeah, the newer recording style could definitely have benefited us earlier, you know, had we started doing it earlier, just because it would have saved us a lot of time and energy, could have like, you know, compounded the research and like put it all together and like, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to go research this huge block and now I have all these notes and I only have to talk about it one time, you know, as opposed to like coming back and forth. So I can definitely see how that could have, you know, just made it easier, you know, for us in the past, for sure. But I think that it was a good lesson for us to learn, you know, should any of us do a podcast or a, you know, like Aunt Jasmine on her web series, you know, like videos and all that. I think it's a good thing to learn, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially in like season 1 and even season 2, I was I was fucking amped to do all the research. I think just as time has gone on, just getting busier and busier, having more stuff to do, it got harder. It got harder to show up and do the research every time, for sure. But I mean, like, yeah, there were some good ones. Like all of the ones where we researched astrology topics, like ones that were a bit more niche, like Black Moon Lilith and Chiron. I loved those. But also the research for those weren't too difficult because like we'd separate it like, okay, Ella takes these signs, Jess takes these signs, Jasmine takes these signs, and yeah. So those ones weren't as hard, but they were fun. I liked them.
Well, and the research wasn't even necessarily hard. It's all stuff that we want to know about, but it's like, well, for those of you who maybe this is your first Power of Three episode or you haven't been around for a very long time, we're all entrepreneurs and none of us have virtual assistants. Well, unless maybe Jasmine does now that, I don't know, you're kind of like blowing the fuck up on TikTok and shit. But we're all so fucking busy doing all of the things for our own businesses, plus doing everything for this podcast. So it's like we had to make time to fit all of that in. And it's just a fucking lot, even though I love knowledge, I love learning, I love understanding more, but it's like I'm putting out courses myself and Jasmine's putting out courses herself and Ella's putting out courses herself, plus running our Instagrams, plus this, plus that. So it's like it just became this thing that was really hard to balance and make it fit.
Yeah. Although I will say, like, in the pressure of learning so much stuff throughout these 2.5 years, like, it has made me so much more powerful and confident in, like, who I am as a witch and, like, how I practice and, like, the way that I speak to people about what I do. Because, you know, I come to people who are just like, you know, I'm like, oh, yeah, I read tarot. And they're like, oh, tarot. And I'm like, oh, tarot. Like, you can't touch me with these insults, y'all. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you want to make fun of tarot, you go right ahead. I didn't make it, so I don't fucking care. And people pay me to read their cards, so, you know, talk shit all you want, bitch. I don't give a shit. But it has helped me get to that point. Whereas before, like, I was really, you know, doing any of this with you guys, I didn't really know many witches, and the ones that I did were like these catty, like, just horrible people who, instead of trying to help me grow in my magic, wanted to stifle me so that my magic wouldn't outgrow theirs, you know? Whereas in this container, I've been so safe to, like, grow magically and like experiment and feel like, you know, there was a time where I was scared that like, you know, fuck, if I lit a certain herb on a certain night that I'd like let demons in and shit, you know, like I was heavily indoctrinated for many years, even into my witchcraft journey. But I just feel like the last 2.5 years have really helped to be like, no, dude, I tell people I have a fucking podcast about fucking witchcraft and astrology and tarot and like all this woo woo shit. And if you don't like it, I don't give a shit. Like, don't listen to it. But if you're into it, like, come on board, like, join us, like, hit us up. So, yeah, even though the pressure felt intense, I do feel like it had a lot of good purpose because I see it in you guys too. Like, Jess, your confidence and your posts are like out of this world, like beyond what they were 2.5 years ago. And Jasmine, like you already said, she's blowing up on TikTok, hit that 100K. She's blowing up on Instagram. She's got a fucking web show, you know, like our girl's doing shit. And, you know, you and I are doing shit. Jess and I are a little quieter about what we do than Jasmine. Jasmine goes full force, you know, and she's just explosive. So, you know, but we have
is my superpower. You might not see it now, but you'll see it.
The quiet glow up.
Yeah.
I'm all for that though. I would rather, I mean, not that there's any good or bad way to, you know, whatever, succeed or glow up, but in my personal preference, I like not telling people what I'm up to until it's either done or almost done, or like there's something to like show for it. Like I'd rather just be like, instead of being like, oh yeah, I'm going to start a podcast, I didn't really tell anyone. I told a couple people, and other than that, I left it at that. And then once the podcast came out, I was like, hey, y'all, I'm running a podcast. Come listen. Because I love that shock factor.
Yeah, I am the opposite.
Yeah.
But part of it is like, if I don't, wait, it's not if I don't, but it does help me to tell people like what I'm doing or what I'm working on. Because then it's like, okay, now I have to do it.
Right. You got the pressure
My Taurus
on.
Mars would love to just not do most things. So, you know,
so like, you got to have accountability.
Yeah.
I tell people actually.
Makes it real. It makes it real.
Yes.
But no, I think I used to be more like, well, okay, so I used to be more of working in the shadows, you know, especially because I have a lot of 12th house stuff, and most all of my Capricorn stuff is in the 12th house. So that's like secret ambitions, right? So for most of my life, I kept everything very fucking secret. But then I never took it out of the secret place. They remained secret ambitions, and nothing ever happened from there. So yeah, I think that was part of my Saturn return, was just being like, fuck it, here I am. I mean, here's what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna keep on doing it.
Did we all hit our Saturn returns within this podcast?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, because yours is in Aquarius, right? Early degree. What is it?
Yeah, mine happened February. Mine happened in February. And you had fucking 2 or 3.
Yeah. Mine was all of 2020.
Oh God. And then Jess was right before yours, right?
I feel like I was like right when we were starting the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Aw, look at us. We're big girls now. We're big witches. Got our big witch draws on.
For real. Yeah. I mean, just going back to some of the other stuff you said was, you know, we all came to this podcast like, yeah, I've been doing witchcraft for years. Yeah, I'm not a baby witch at all. But now looking back at where we were back then, I'm like, it's okay. Maybe we were a little bit of a baby witch. Witches. And like now we're super confident, think we know everything.
We're like, witches. We got this. We're gonna tell people what's up. I've been a witch for like 5 or 6 years, yo. And now we're like, oh, approaching on that decade.
We were always witches.
It's true.
We're still in the learning processes. And it wasn't like someone gave us a grimoire when we turned 13 and like said, hey, look, did you know, wake up to this. We all kind of fell into it and discovered it on our own. And I think that's really why, I feel like that's why we started this podcast, was for those, like you were talking about, Ella, where we felt like we were being demonized by other witches, or like told that we couldn't do certain things, or put into fucking boxes that we didn't want to be put in. So we were like, here, we're going to share this wealth and knowledge with you so that you can be the best witch that you can be.
Yes, no, that is so true. That is exactly why we did this. Because we were like, honestly, a lot of the witch community sucks. Let's just tell people it's cool to be yourself, and just like, you know, like our basic rules are just like, hey, try not to hurt people, you know, like unless it's, you know, really justified, you know, but don't hurt innocent people. And like, other than that, do your thing. Be careful out there, like shit. Take
That
care of yourself.
of the duality episode. I think that Jasmine had brought up black and white magic and like asked us what we thought about that and like the duality of that. And yeah, you had specifically Ella had touched on that exact topic in that episode.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It's all gray.
It is, yeah. Yeah. The more I live in the world, the more I realize that like people who are stuck on this is right, this is wrong, or this is left, this is right, or like whatever. Like if you are so polarized in your whole life that all you're seeing is this or that, like you're not seeing the whole picture. I'm sorry. Like I love you, I support you, but you're not seeing the whole picture. There's so much gray in between black and white, even if you're literally talking about like a scale of shade, like there's so much fucking different shades of gray in between black and white, and you can't just boil everything down to this or that. But yeah, I think that is very true. We try to avoid the whole, oh, you must do it this way or something,
Even black, it's like, is it red based? Is it blue based? Is there either of those? Like,
thank you. No such thing as true black unless you're like a black hole or some shit. Right. You ain't the cosmos, baby.
Oh, but we are. Oh, so do you think? Never mind.
No, now you have to.
I was just gonna say. So, Ella, do you think some people are black holes?
Aren't we all on one day or another? Sorry, I've been having I don't know which planet is responsible for my kinky side because I'm having that return right now.
Mars and Lilith are pretty kinky. Actually, I think Lilith might be in Gemini, so she might be. I'm pretty sure she's in Gemini right now. Okay. She might be real close to your Gemini placement.
I see you. Yes.
I want to hear about the origins of this podcast, how it started, because I mean, I was the last one invited on the podcast, and if I remember correctly, I think it was the brainchild of Ella, and she brought us all together. So I want to hear about the true beginnings.
Once upon a time,
away.
Yes, in a land far away. So let's see what was going on. Okay, it must have been like February or March 2018 because we started it in March 2021 or March 21st. So yeah, it was either like late February or early March. And why the fuck did I want to start a podcast? I can't remember why I wanted to do it. I think I just wanted.
I remember.
You do? Okay.
You and I were having some like in-depth text conversations and like voice clips and stuff on Instagram about like vaccination. And this was before COVID and anything like that. So
yes, we were just talking about school vaccinations. Yes, I remember that.
And different things like political standings and stuff. And we would and I think it was like my Mars placement in Gemini and you being in Gemini. And we were just like back and forth, like, well, what about this? And people could think that. And we were just having these like conversations that most people don't have that don't agree. And we didn't always agree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't have the same outlook. No, you're right. That was kind of what started it was maybe a few months before I had the idea for the podcast, you would just randomly be like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about? And I'm like, oh my God, these are like great conversations. And yeah, at that point I was like, you ever thought about starting a podcast? And she's like, oh my God, that sounds so fun. And then I go, who'd be great to join us? And she's like, Jasmine. And I'm like, Jasmine. We were both just like, immediately we both thought of you and we were just both like, should we go ask her? Is she too cool for us? Like, no, she's a dork just like us.
I said, yes, 1,000 times yes. I had sat with my friends multiple times and we'd like discuss starting a podcast and even to the point where, I was like writing out notes and like what we need and stuff like that. But there was never any follow through. So when you guys were like, do you want to start a podcast? I was like, yes, I'm just looking for some down bitches. Let's do it. And this is even better. I don't remember what the topic was going to be for the podcast me and my friends were going to do. But I was like, yeah, no, I'm definitely down to talk about witchy shit. That sounds actually perfect.
Right?
I remember that moment when we like gave our marriage proposal to you, Jasmine, I was like I was still living at my parents' house, and I was standing in the dining room area, and I'm just like the most giddy little school child in the world. And then we like got down on one knee and sent you a message. I don't remember if it was text or voice clip at this point, but we were like, please say yes, please say yes, please say yes.
I was at work holding my phone like, what's she gonna say? What's she gonna say?
That's so cute. And thus Power of Three was born. But yeah, we had to go on quite a few video calls and brainstorm and talk about what we wanted to do and get used to talking to each other. And even still, it took a while. Like if anyone goes back to those first couple episodes, I can't do it. I'll never do it. I know. I'll get secondhand embarrassment.
Oh God, it's so real. Like for those of you wondering, I am probably going to put all these audio episodes onto YouTube to memorialize them so I don't have to pay for the service that we use. But just, I was considering that in doing that, I was like, should I even put like the first few episodes on at all? Like they're so bad. So we'll see.
I think you should do it.
First episode, and then you go and listen to like season 3 and 4, and you're like, we've just grown so much as people and podcasters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's very true. So yeah, so maybe I'll do like a combined, like put like 3 of the beginning episodes in each on each clip and just be like, here, move on to season 2. It's much better.
Yeah, definitely a disclaimer. Like, hey, these are the first episodes of this podcast. High cringe levels. Very, very cringy.
Cringe. Oh, who always made our podcast awesome though to have them on? Jay motherfucking Cross.
Yes,
those are my favorite episodes every year. Every year we have him on to tell ghost stories, and I am never fucking disappointed by that man.
Nope. I think about the Spider-Woman ghost story that he told
last year
during spooky season. I think about that one.
I think about it before I go to bed. I hate my life.
Yes, no, I wrote down Jay Cross's ghost stories on my list of memories.
They're always good.
Always so good. Although I will say last time when we were talking about his book, American Breweria, when he, because I don't know if you guys, the listeners, are familiar with Skype as we are, but you can like put a setting on where it's a gallery view and you can like sit in like under the sea and in strange places. But that was the first time we'd seen it. Like Jay just put us all into like a symposium, we're all just sitting there.
He's like, come children, listen to my stories.
I feel like we tried to do it again another time, but for some reason it wouldn't let Jess sit with us.
Yeah,
you can't sit with us.
Yeah. Okay. Now
that was ridiculous.
Now I want to do
it. She's like, where's the setting?
Yeah, how do I do it?
Jay Cross actually lives, for anyone who hasn't listened or whatever doesn't know, Jay Cross lives in the same town that I do. And his husband runs the inn. We have an inn.
They have an inn? I had no idea.
Oh, is it haunted?
The house that I'm currently moving from right now as we speak, they would walk by with their little dog like almost every day, and they're so fucking cute. They're like holding hands, walking their dog, and I just love it. I'm gonna miss that.
Aww. I'm gonna have to come stay at the inn that his husband runs.
Is it haunted? I feel like it should be haunted.
I don't know. It's yellow.
Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? You guys, I don't know if you guys listen.
Me in Oregon if you do that too. Just side note.
Okay. I don't know if you guys listen to much like scary stories. Oh, there we are. Oh, we're in a cabin.
Yeah, I put us. Nice. I put us in a cabin, snowy cabin.
So cute.
We look cute. I mean, Jess looks like she's properly dressed for it. Jess is wearing a beanie and a big blanket jacket.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing pants, so I'm not dressed.
Who needs pants in the ski lodge? That's my question. Who's wearing pants in a ski lodge?
Nobody trying to get laid.
Exactly. Keep your pants off. It's easier to get laid.
That's what I'm here for. Oh, you know what? That reminds me, actually, this is fun. This is not a memory. Well, it is for me from my dream last night. I will say that I did have sex with Ella in my dream last night.
You're welcome, honey. How was it?
It was good.
Good. I'm glad I didn't disappoint.
I think there was also some sort of crisis going on, so it like wasn't the best time for it.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
Pouring me at the wrong moment. That's me.
So
Mhm.
that
Danger
reminds me of
aborting.
our astral projection episode.
Yeah, I wrote that one down too. That one was fun. That was really cool. Just to like research astral projection and like attempt it for a few nights.
Right.
But
I am so earthbound. It was ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't expect to go anywhere, but I went and visited you on your compound.
It was great. That was so wild to me when you described like almost perfectly in detail my property. Like that, it was fucking weird because Jasmine has never been to my house, neither has Jess. As far as seeing pictures, like every now and then I'll put like it'll be in the background of my social media, but I don't take like tours of my yard or of my house to any extent that they've ever seen. So for Jasmine to perfectly like tell me, oh yeah, and then I saw this tree, or and then I saw this swing set, and then I saw this thing, and like there was this house up here, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like how in the hell did this happen? Yeah, that was one of the most magical moments that didn't occur to me that I've experienced. That I'm like, holy shit, you were at my house.
Yeah, that was fun. So what we did, we explained it on the episode, but if you haven't listened to it, what we did is we were all practicing astral projection, learning about it, but then we were like, okay, I think this was actually Jess's idea. She's like, we should try to meet on the astral plane. So
we have the notes from it.
Of course you do. You're so good.
That
I wrote. Yeah. So we went to bed. We practiced the breathing and the techniques. Jess lit some candles. I think there was an incantation involved too.
Yeah, I have it here if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's really cheesy, guys. But that's okay because magic gets to be fucking fun. An amethyst chunk beside your bed, next to onyx and clear quartz. With my intention set in the physical world, I prepare to meet the witches 3 on the astral shores of Hawaii. 1, 2, 3. I enter my dream to come out on the other side. I'll see you there.
Nice. Yeah. And I I remember that I used the word compound. And that was when because I started with that. I was like, I don't know, last night in my dream I was on a compound. And you were like, no fucking way. We call it the compound.
We do. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only 2 houses on it, but you know, in Hawaii, we have a lot of multi-generational living. So yeah, it's a compound.
I mean, yeah, that's what's wild is that I saw both the houses. The thing is, so since doing that, I realized that I don't dream like images and stories and plot lines, and I think it has to do with my clairsentience because like that also happens when I read books. Like when I'm reading a book, what I see in my mind, like when someone's trying to describe the imagery or the way someone looks, the you know, the setting, it is very dreamlike, you know, it's kind of psychedelic. Like I can never imagine people's faces, and I can only like imagine the furniture or the architecture that is directly there, and everything else around it has a vibe, but it is incredibly indistinct. So yeah, I feel what?
Is your dreams in color?
Yeah, they're in color.
I've learned that a lot of people don't dream in color.
That's interesting. Black and
I'm
white.
not sure if I dream in color or not, honestly. I feel like I might, unless I'm just not aware of the absence of the color. I don't know. I mean, I'll remember like the imagery from it or like the actions. Sometimes I'll remember the words. Oh, one time I'm pretty sure I had a sleep demon like in my dream. It was super weird. It kept throwing rocks at me. And then And then I told someone about it. I forget who it was, but I told someone, I was like, yeah, I had this weird dream that I was like, whatever, doing this thing, and I kept having rocks hit me, and they were like, I'm pretty sure that's like a sleep demon or like a whatever. It may not be a demon, but like some kind of creature that like hangs out in your dreams, because it had nothing to do with my dream. It was completely like not in my control, or it was just the most random thing, but it was the most memorable real part of my dream, and I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah,
That's
dreams are
trippy.
weird.
Dreams are weird. They're very strange.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember I was supposed to be taking care of your kids. It was very busy. And then yeah, once we like stepped outside, it was like very green. And then it was that there was like kind of like a little hill, and that's where the other house was. And I was like, and there was an older man there, and you were like, no way.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. That was cool. That was pretty magical, which brings me to another memory I wanted to talk about, which was at the beginning of 2021, we did a block that was about divination. We had a pendulum episode, we had a cartomancy episode, what is it, automatic writing episode.
Yeah.
And I really want to go back, especially with the pendulum, because we asked a bunch of yes or no questions with the pendulum. And I definitely want to go back at the end of the year and listen to it again and see how many came true.
That's such a great idea. Yeah, we're gonna have to like listen to it at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, we made a bunch of predictions and like asked a bunch of questions about the year and about us, and that was cool.
The only one I remember is that we asked if Mitch McConnell was gonna die. And I'm pretty sure it told us yes, so that one hasn't come true yet.
Still got our fingers crossed.
There is time, young ladies. There is time.
Yes.
When I remembered that episode, that was, like I said, the only question I remembered. But then I was like, is he dead? Like, I had to look it up. It's just in my mind, it already happened.
Yeah, dude. From 2020 to 2021, like all of this is just such a blur. I'm like, okay, who's alive? Who's the president? What's happening? Like, I'm so confused. I'm so lost.
Have any of us really been alive since 2012?
Maybe we all died, yeah, in 2012, and this is just some fucked up version of the afterlife that we're all just supposed to live. That actually makes me feel better, to be honest. I do feel better now.
This is just limbo.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense to me.
Guys, this podcast has really fed into my conspiracy theory brain so perfectly throughout the last 3 years. Oh.
Right, because didn't we also do a ghost episode, or did we veto the ghost episode because of how the alien episode went down? No, I think we did a ghost episode. I think it was in the same block, but the alien one was harder for some reason. Well, I guess because there's like a lot of documentation of ghosts, even if it like still can't scientifically be proven.
I don't know, they're getting close.
They sure are. I believe it.
One of the first 5 episodes we've done. So we were just like, how do we talk about a theory that we have, but we don't really know?
Yeah.
So it was definitely interesting. I would love for our current selves to go back and redo the alien episode, because I think it could be pretty dope. But
maybe sometime we can do like a Instagram live and just talk about aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do an alien and a ghost one.
Spooky season's coming up.
Yeah. I mean, if we had just like done some research before the alien one and came with notes, then I think we would have been good. But I didn't.
My
have
only
any
research
notes.
was ancient aliens.
I had fucking notes. I just was so like nervous and stoned. I was so stoned.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is I was like, ooh, an alien episode. I'm going to get stoned for this one because it is not uncommon for either of you guys to smoke before an episode. But for me, it does not work. It does not work, especially because, I mean, a lot of the times I would be the one trying to be like, okay, now let's talk about this. And let's, kind of leading us through the episode. And I am not good on podcasts when I'm high. It was one and done. I learned my lesson.
You're like, this function. Is the only one.
You guys can function. I can't do it.
It's because I'm a functioning stoner every day.
Yeah.
Like everything I do, There's almost people are more concerned when I'm not stoned. Like that's when they know they're like, "Why are you acting so weird? Are you okay? Like, are you sick?" And I'm just like, "I just haven't smoked." And they're like, "Weird." I'm like, I know.
Fun fact, I'm currently not stoned.
Well, Ella just took a bong rip, so
Always.
I know. Like, you guys are so small on my screen. I was like, what is that phallic like subject coming across my screen in Ella's mouth?
If only I could fit the whole thing in my mouth. That'd be impressive.
That's what she said.
Make all the boys cry. I just want to make a grown man cry.
Let's see. Oh, I think probably my favorite episode that we've ever done, if I may be so bold, is the cult manifesto episode where we all made our own cults and then went around and talked about it. That's so chef's cool. Kiss. That was the best episode.
I had cult series on my list of memories for sure. I was like, man, I loved talking about the cults. And then I was even talking about it maybe like a month ago to someone. I was telling them about how we like did the whole make our own cult thing. And they were just like, they did not understand what I was talking about. And I was like, like DIY cult. And they're just like, that sounds like something else than what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, well, just me. Just me then.
It was so amazingly perfect. Like
it was.
We have never been like true caricatures of ourselves more than in that episode.
Oh my God.
If you want to know who we really are. Yeah.
Like that's fucking true.
Yeah. Yeah. Jess's was like so spiritual and like, it's all about autonomy and all of that. Like very woo. And then Ella's was about cooking.
It was like a food cult.
Yeah, food cult. So good.
Does anything seem more fitting for me though?
Yes, I know. And then mine was the like a ghost Scientology cult.
Yes.
The like mega church of mediumship, basically. It's just like it's so perfect.
Scientology of Jasmine had it first.
Yeah, you in that cult reminds me of the Brill. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Brill.
No.
So they're like they're the witches. I don't think they went by witches, but they're I can't remember this fucking girl's name, but she did automatic writing for the Nazi party or whatever. They're like the magical women that were behind the men during that time, like guiding them.
Okay.
And so one of the things that they're known for most is that they have really long hair because it's used as an antenna to connect with spirit.
Oh my gosh.
That's a very common belief.
As you're saying that, as I'm pulling my hair forward to look at it, like
I was like, oh, Jasmine was a Brill.
So
I mean, yeah, my cult was not for good. I think your guys' had a little bit more good energy, but mine was
I couldn't bring myself.
It was just so perfect because for that block we just had a few questions that we wanted to answer for each of the cults that we researched. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, okay, well, when we make our own cults, just answer these questions. We'll all go around answering them one at a time. And it was just so beautiful that we came with such different stuff because it made it so fun and engaging and entertaining. And I don't know if I've ever laughed more on an episode. It was so good.
That one was so fun. I agree. Yeah, it was definitely one of our let's just be us and just do our thing and because we love to focus on sharing proper information and trying to be correct and up to date and all that, but just to let loose that was hilarious and fun.
Mm-hmm. Just let that creativity flow, baby.
Yeah.
Was the name of that episode DIY cult?
I think it was Bring Your Own Manifesto.
Yeah.
That's pretty too.
I was like, how do I name this? I don't know. But yeah, it was like BYO Manifesto or something like that. Season 4?
3?
No, season 3?
Season 3.
No, season 3. Yeah. End of season 3.
It was earlier this year.
Yeah.
And that was one that we had in the making for a long time, you guys, listeners. We've talked about doing a cult block for so long, and it was finally the right time. We finally did it. We finally made it happen. And
I'm so glad we waited.
Yeah,
Yes,
because then we gave
it was
birth
perfect
to
timing.
one of the best episodes. Another one I loved was cute. Ella
Sounds
just took
pretty.
a picture of us. That's very cute. Um, we did one episode that we did record, and I think we put it on our Patreon back when we were still slinging the Patreon.
Oh man.
Is we did a witchcrafts episode where we all
Yes.
made art, and this is a while ago. This is maybe like season 2, but maybe like the end of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a hot minute. Yeah, I think I made watercolor paintings. Do you guys remember what you did? I know mine were like space themed, like there were planets.
I feel like I made something with like herbs, like maybe like sachets or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't even remember what you're talking about currently.
You don't remember the witchcrafts episode?
I'm gonna minimize this real quick and go to our YouTube because I bet it's there.
Yeah, it should be. It should be on one of our videos or on our whatever it is, whatever the thing is that stores the videos on the YouTube.
Yeah.
The thingy with the thingy.
I'm so stoned for this that it was like a dream. I don't remember.
Right, maybe you were stoned.
Okay. Your videos. I'm in the YouTube.
While you're searching for that, I just want to like say that Power of 3 pot coven was like so perfect for the three of us.
For real.
Pot coven. Yep.
Because we could have like our witch's pot, like a cauldron or some shit, or you can just fucking get stoned and listen to us and like geek out on witchy topics. It was perfect.
Yeah, it's true. I remember when we realized, that if we shortened it, it was pot, and we were like, oh.
We're like, oh, there we
that's
go.
Good.
We've decided now. Yes, that was a hilarious. Well, because I don't think we even recognized it at first, and then as soon as it was apparent, we were like, oh, yes, that is us. We are the pot coven. The pot pod.
The pot pod.
The pot pod.
Okay, I'm really searching for this video. I'm signing on to Patreon, but it's making me jump through hoops.
Look, Jasmine, it's sitting on the desk.
Yeah.
What is sitting? Oh.
My jar of goodies. Medical, legally medical goodies.
My goodies.
Don't come from me.
Okay. I also really love our relationship with the Witchcast podcast.
Oh, I love them. Emily and Kate.
Too. Emily and Kate.
Dude, they're the shit. They really are.
Shit.
If you're looking for a new witchy podcast to listen to, go listen to Emily and Kate.
Didn't Kate just get married, or like
she's had a bachelorette.
She's about to get married. Oh yes, I remember seeing that now.
Little satchels or whatever the fuck those things are called were really cute. Her like mom was wearing one that said "Hot Mama."
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted because I'm still trying to look for that video, but I'm going to stop now because it's taken too much time. But yeah, I was trying to read what Emily's sash said, but there wasn't a good picture of it. Because yeah, there was one that was like most like likely to make you take a shot or something. There were ones that were like cute and sweet, and then there were ones that were a little fun, a little silly, a little goofy. I was like, that's fine. Whenever I have one of those bachelorette things, maybe I'll make my friends wear them. Maybe.
Yes. Gotta do all the cheesy shit.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a request for you ladies. Ella, if you ever get married again or have a life-changing event, and Jasmine, if you just ever get married, I would really, really like to be in the audience.
Oh,
at least.
for sure.
I like how you refer to it as the audience as opposed to like get invited. Like I would just as opposed to like please invite me. You said I would like to be in the audience of your performance of getting married.
Well, be a key player in this performance, like that'd be cool too. But I'll settle for the audience.
Yes.
I love
Well,
it.
maybe I can perform Jasmine's marriage and you can be in the audience with like a musical number prepared or something.
Yeah, or maybe I'll like bring the stage and some fucking I don't know what.
There we go. Yes.
Ritual.
A
A
ritual. A witch-tual. Has anyone ever done that before? Because that's pretty brilliant. I'm doing a
That was an
witchual.
accident.
I know, but I love it. Well, we still got to go to Maui at some point in time and visit Ella.
Mm-hmm. True
Can you
that.
get married on the Jazz?
Probably not. As a white person, I'll probably, who lives in California, I'll probably stick with California. Just to keep it safe.
I can travel.
I like to keep it safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about that before we hopped on this episode. I was like, man, I don't care if we're not doing the podcast anymore. We still got to go to Hawaii. We still got to see Ella.
We still need a little ladies' vacation. Make
True.
make my Robert drive us around. Actually, you guys can bring yours and we'll just be like, hey, you guys do stuff and we'll go do stuff.
Yeah.
Have a Robert.
Well, too bad. When you bring him to Hawaii, his name is Robert now.
Yes, he will become an honorary Robert.
He's the Max Robert.
He's a what?
His name's Max, so he's the Max Robert.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Robert
Max
to the
isn't too bad.
max.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, no, that still fits, I feel like. I feel like Maxes and Roberts have a similar energy.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
really know.
I don't either. I'm just talking shit. Sorry to all the Maxes and Roberts out there. I've just like glossed over.
My grandpa's name is Bob, and I used to call him Bobbert. So his real name is Robert. I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most Bobs are
Regular
not
name.
just
Your
Bob.
regular name.
Your normal name?
Your regular name. Yeah,
Regular.
sometimes I like to call my Robert Bobby just for fun.
Oh, my Robert gets called Bobby by his British relatives, like his
Bobby.
straight. Yes, they call him Bobby. He hates it too because sometimes they'll call him BJ, and he's like, "Please don't call me that," because he's junior. He's junior, so he goes by RJ. Like when he was a kid, his parents would call him RJ. But yeah, his British relatives would come visit, and they'd be like, "Oh, little BJ, little Bobby Junior," and he's like, "No, don't call me that." It's like RJ is fine.
So bad. You guys watch Bob's Burgers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Another Robert, but
Bobby.
they have regular sized Rudy.
I was thinking about that when you said your regular name. I was like, your regular size name, but I wasn't sure if that was too niche for the conversation.
Just always go with your instincts there.
Yes.
I don't remember who regular size Rudy is, but the name rings
He's the one with
a bell.
asthma that he and Louise get lost in the museum, and like on the Valentine episode, she thinks he likes her, but he likes somebody else, and then she kisses him. He's usually with them like on Halloween episodes or like if they're getting in trouble and shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Regular size Rudy.
Regular sized Rudy. I don't even know who the other Rudy is.
There might not be another Rudy.
Yeah, because there's like little Rudy or small Rudy or something, and then yeah, there's regular size Rudy, and that's their friend. Fucking ridiculous. It's so funny because it's so true for like being in elementary school, like just these stupid names you have for everybody, and you're just like, you just go with it. You're like, whatever, I guess that's my name.
That reminds me of my dance director in Oakland was pregnant years ago and was talking, with her husband, like, what are we going to name the baby if it's a boy? Like, what names do you like for a girl? And she was like, I really like the name Olive. And he's like, we can't do that. She's like, what? Why? Why can't we name it Olive? Like, I like Olive. And he's like, say her full name, which would have been Olive Cox, aka I love Cox.
Oh,
she was like, damn it.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Nope.
I think about that often.
You got to say the whole
to have another person to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to say the whole name before you commit to like baby names. Like, yeah, I've met people who are like Richard Richardson, and I'm like, why would they do that to you?
I learned this on TikTok, but there's a U.S. military major whose name is Major Dick Bong. Dick Bong. And there's like a park, I believe, in Washington. I think it's in Bremerton, Washington, named after him. And it's called like Dick Bong Park. It's like a children's park. Major Dick Bong.
I feel like I'm going to implode.
Yeah, go on Wikipedia right now. Go look up Major Dick Bong. Yeah, there's someone's account. Someone has an account where they just share interesting Wikipedia pages, which like I fucking love that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, who doesn't love it? I spend a decent amount of time on Wikipedia. I like learning stuff from other places, of course, but sometimes it's like, let's just check the Wikipedia first. Let's have that one on hand. Because it's just like a solid like skeleton, like base of knowledge. I mean, some Wikipedia pages are very intense, but it depends what you're looking into, right?
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it can definitely at least give you that like foothold to get moving on research. I feel like, yeah, I don't usually like just trust Wikipedia because it's a, you know, it's a public source, and that's, I feel like that is a good thing. It has its pluses and minuses, you know, but just I'll take it kind of with a grain of salt and be like, all right, this is what Wikipedia says. Let's make sure we can confirm it before I take it as fact.
Yeah.
But it's a good spot to be like, all right, let's gather some intel. What did people say about this? What's the word?
Oh, it gives us a lot of birth dates too. Sometimes you need that birth date. You just
there we go.
I'll take the Wikipedia. Thank you. Yeah. Right now I'm working on retelling the story of the Salem witch trials on my Astro Hour show, while also doing like birth charts and transit charts. So, you know, I'd be on Google like Elizabeth Paris birth date, you know, like show me that Wikipedia.
Right. Give me the birthday.
Just give me the birthday.
Yeah. I love it when like I'm fishing for someone's birth time where I'll be like, oh, like what's your moon sign? What's your this? And they're just like, they just hit me with the birth time and I'm like, oh, thank you. I did not want to have to ask directly. That feels rude. It's like asking someone's weight or like their age or something. I'm like, it's too personal. But I'm just like, oh, what's your moon sign? They're like, here, figure it out for me. Please read this. And I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Give me that.
I don't really do like whatever, like official astrology readings, but in my circle of people. And the funny thing is right now it's mostly men who want to know about their astrology. It's interesting. It is. And I'm like, I'm here for it. That's cool. I don't know if it's like the self-awareness aspect or if it's like the blaming planets for things aspect of it that they're most attracted to. But I don't really care. I love talking about astrology. So I'm just like, give it to me. Let me read it. But yeah, I've been getting lots of requests lately in my real life where people are like, tell me what this means. And I'm like, yes. You want me to talk about my theories? I've been waiting years for someone to ask me about my theories.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's how you work to becoming an astrologer. You just gotta practice, right? So you're doing the good work. You're doing what must be done.
I am spreading the good news about astrology.
Sorry.
Okay.
I just got the email. Jess is doing some of her treasurer work.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Power of 3 got an email. Whoops, and I got distracted. I mean, it involved money, which is why I was like, wait, hold on.
Money.
I need to pay attention.
You know what else has been super fun for me when in the winters, I don't think we did it the first year, but 2019 and 2020, like in December, we would talk about like pagan winter stuff and like Yule. And then last year we had Jennifer Hartman who wrote Old Mother Frost. Those are some of my favorites because I just fucking love being a fucking pagan. Honestly, I do. Love being a fucking heathen. It's great.
Right. 2020 was all Yule stuff, all pagan winter traditions, just like generalized pagan winter traditions. And then we challenged ourselves in 2019. We each did research into like our own ancestral heritage and the
Yes.
folk magic, and practices around the winter time. And that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I learned about the Germanic festival that happens in winter called Dieseblot, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to celebrate it in my own way every year now.
I love that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think in doing that, because like, a lot of what I do too is okay, not a lot of what I do. Everything I do is within the scope of my own home, my own community, my own family. Like I'm a very like in my own zone kind of witch. But for me, those episodes and doing all that research, it was fun because it's helped me kind of like build more of a practice and have more, like I was saying, have more confidence to like talk about it. And like I get all my friends involved now every year instead of just having the kids and Robert with me. I'm like, okay, everybody, it's Yule, come over, or it's Beltane or whatever. And like, okay, what does it mean? And then I'll like have all the foods out and like, we do a bunch of traditional shit. And I'm just kind of like, just I'm not forcing my friends to be pagan, but I'm just like I'm just letting them default to paganism because that's the holiday that they're being invited to. I'm just like, here you go. I'm celebrating pagan shit. And they're like, there's food? Cool.
There's food, there's a fire. All right,
Mama
I'm
made
there.
food. Daddy lit the fire. Let's do
Yeah. Yeah, I used to host like full moon and new moon circles
it.
for my friends.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah,
It's a
did it a
good
lot. I think
excuse.
in 2018, even 2019, we did it quite a bit, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, it does what it does.
Fucked it all up. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of bad shit that happened, but I feel like in some ways, you know, hopefully there's good to come of it too. It's hard
Yeah.
to see it when people are still dying and when people are still
Yes.
fighting each other and like when there's all this just like tension among the common everyday folks. I think that's what is worse to me, is the most, terrible to me, is just seeing all my friends not agree and not be able to think about anything else because it's such a consuming subject, and just like it just sucks that this is like taken over our whole lives, because I'm like, I miss doing witchy shit. I miss doing fun stuff. I miss when there was focus on things besides, what's happening in the world. So I don't blame
Yeah.
anybody. Like,
Right.
it's
Right.
not anyone's fault at all, like both on all sides of the thing. I'm like, I don't blame a single one of you. I'm just like, fuck, I wish this were over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Last night I went to my first like live group yoga class.
Ooh.
There was 6 of us in total, so it was chill. Um, since the pandemic started, it's been a year and a half, and I
Wow.
was so excited to go. And it like technically was not like a super hard class, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a little rough. I'm sore in quite a few places.
You're like, oh, I forgot what it was like when someone's telling me what to do.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot that, what it was like when I wasn't just alone in my living room doing it, not trying to, you know, not giving a
Yeah.
fuck what anyone thinks or does, which I
Yeah.
mean, you're not supposed to in yoga, but still, when you're around people, there's an energy. It's an energy thing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do more. You want to have the correct postures. You're not just going to lay in child's pose the whole time. Sometimes you are, but that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we did a lot of downward dogs. And like, I have no problem with downward dog, but I haven't done that many downward dogs in a short period of time in a long time. But it's good. It's good. I lost a lot of muscle in the pandemic, so I'm ready to gain some muscle weight.
The same thing happened to me, dude. I mean, yeah, I'm starting to kind of build it back, but I'm like, man, I used to be a lot stronger than I am now. And I'm like, I didn't realize how much just going out in life, you know, gave me such muscle definition. I feel like I'm a little skinnier now than I was, technically, but I'm not as like strong or like muscular. So I've been trying to use some weights when I do like my whatever, all my little shit. I'm like, okay, let's try to amp it up a little, get a little stronger, build some of that muscle back. Plus, we're all just newly into the 30s. So
Yep.
that's another
Yep.
thing that happens when women hit their 30s, is or people, not even just women, but people who hit their 30s, our hormones start changing, our bodies change, our muscles change, like everything just kind of is like, oh, you're getting older. Hello. And it's like, oh, I'm old.
But still so young. But that's a fun thing that happened, in the course of this podcast. We're all in our 30s now.
Aww. Aww.
Yeah.
So cute.
It's slowly crawling towards our crone years.
Not if my gray hairs have anything to say about it. They're like Speed Racer.
In fact, so I've recently, well, not really that recently, I guess in our third season, we talked a little bit with Christine, I believe was her name, about human design.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so I am a projector, and projectors are supposed to be here to guide the world. But first, you have to go through all the trials and tribulations and all that fucking shit that you gotta go through so that you can see the areas where you're supposed to guide the world or whatever.
Yeah, like get the vision or whatever.
Yeah, it's been explained to me like this. So in your like 27th to 50th year, somewhere around there, it's like you climbed up on top of a house and you're just watching everybody else down below you doing all the things that they're doing. And then, so if you shout down from the top of the roof and you're like, hey guys, you're doing it wrong, or maybe you should try this way, I see it from a better vantage point. But no one's ready to fucking hear you because you're standing up on the roof. So they're like, shut up, you roof dweller, and flipping you or whatever. Because projectors are supposed to have the invitation to share their guidance with you. They're supposed to do that, right? So in your 50th year, you're finally able to like come down from the roof. And this also goes into a lot of other things in human design. It's not just that I'm a projector, but basically I'm supposed to come down from the roof in my 50th year and be like, hey guys, I've just been up here like viewing all of this shit. Now I'm going to share this with you, and I'm going to be this role model guide for you to like fully step into all of your greatness. But it's not going to happen until I'm like in my crone years.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. The crone years. Yeah, that's cool. It's a lovely metaphor. But if I were you, I'd be like, God damn it.
Right.
Whenever I hear stuff like that.
Do I have to have an invitation?
Like,
yeah, that's the worst
someone
part.
just bring me a ladder real quick?
Hey, guys.
Can I go up and down? Yeah. What, Ella, you're a manifester?
Mm-hmm. I am a manifester. It's exhausting.
I think I'm a manifesting generator. I don't think I'm just a regular generator, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, for manifesting, well, I am always joking with people. I'm like, yeah, I'm a manifestor. I spend like all my time in bed. It's because I can go hard on like one thing for a while, and then I'm like, okay, I need to sleep now for like 3 years. So I'm still learning to like utilize it properly, because I know that doing it this way is not technically the way I should probably be doing it. But yeah, I've always liked how our different human design has kind of come into play with each other, like just like Jess said, you're waiting for your invitation, you got the invitation, and then you're like, hey, also imagine this. And then it's like, oh yeah, cool.
Which, I mean, all of this just brings me back to what we've always been very good at on this show, which is just circle jerking. We're very good at that. We've done that a lot with our
watch us play with each other's.
So much jerking in a circle.
Yeah, we haven't done it as much, and I mean, season 4 hasn't really been an opportunity to circle jerk, but whenever we have those episodes where a lot of it was the astrology, uncovering our astrology charts and comparing and contrasting and all of that. Like anytime we were diving into that, I remember one of the things is like my part of fortune is in the 10th house, but closer to my 11th house and my 9th house, which means that like I'm most successful when working with groups. And I remember that being one moment of just like, oh, so we're supposed to be together. Oh, circle jerk.
Yeah, and that's why I always compare it to like dating or something. I'm just like, man, I'm like straight up in love with these bitches. I don't stand a chance. I love them.
Relationship I've ever been in.
Yeah, it is a lovely, healthy relationship. Also, I just love being a full grown adult because when I was a teenager, anytime I tried to have like a group of 3 friends, it never works. You know, when you're just like a insecure teenage girl, it's fucking hard. But in adulthood, I have so many like 3-person friendships, and I'm like, wow, it's so much easier when you stop giving so much of a fuck.
Can I tell
Yes.
you a secret?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually totally go away when you're an adult either. There were moments where I'm like, Ella and Jasmine are probably texting by themselves and talking about how much I stink at them.
I have those moments
Aw.
with people, not necessarily with you guys, but
Yeah.
yeah, just where I'm like, this person doesn't like me. They didn't text me back for like an hour. I'm like, dude, people have their own lives, girl. You just gotta calm down.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's not personal.
I mean, it's like those thoughts pop up still in 3-person friendships, but it's not, it's not the end of the world. Like when you're younger, it's like everything. That's also because like your friends are absolutely everything in your life at that point in time. And then you get older and you're like, no, I've got about 12 things on my priorities list, and friends are on there and they mean a lot, but they're not my entire fucking world anymore.
Yes.
Still one of the most magical parts of my world. But when you're a teenager, it's like literally everything is about my friends, spending time with my friends, talking about my friends, Snapchatting my friends. I mean, we didn't have Snapchat when we were teens, but I imagine that's what it's like.
Right. Passing notes in class.
Yes. Like I was barely even texting when I was a teenager. Like I got unlimited texting when I was 18.
Right.
Before that I could send like
limiting texting.
Yes.
My dad used to get so mad at me. He's like, dude, you went like 50 texts over. And I'm like, Dad, how am I supposed to fit this all into like these 20 character texts? Like, I have a lot to say. But I was the reason my parents originally got unlimited texting. They're like, it's so much cheaper.
Me too, because I did that.
My parents didn't have texting on our plan, but they had to open it up at one point to do something, like agree to something or whatever, and forgot to turn it off. And so there was this boy in my photography class, and we would pass like handwritten notes back and forth to each other, just like silly, stupid shit, like making drawings and like continuing on to him or whatever. So I got his phone number and was sending him like the remnants of these notes in a text message, and I think I maybe only sent like 4 or 5 messages. And then the next day my dad's like, fucking no, you can't do that, you're gonna lose your whole cell phone, you can't text people, because it was like 10 cents a text or something like that. So went back to regular handwritten notes, and moral of that story, we ended up making out in the dark room. Not like the dark room where you develop the film, but where you take the film from the film canister and make it so that you can take it into the dark room. So it's like pitch black in there. It was fun.
Yeah,
that's a solid story, Jess.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, wow. That was fun.
It's got everything. Got in trouble. It's the teenage drama, the making out in the room. I love it.
Romance, drama.
That could be a movie. That should be a fucking
conflict. Oh yeah, thrilling. Absolutely thrilling. Kind of like how this has been a great story.
Yes,
this
has been nice.
You like that segue?
Yeah.
Is this a good time to talk about desires? That sounds bad.
Yeah, go for it.
Friendship in the future of whatever we can create together and whatnot. I think it would be super cool if occasionally we met up in remnants of our drunken witchcraft, but did that as lives on Instagram. And just talk about whatever the fuck comes up.
Yeah, I'm super down. I totally forgot about drunk witchcraft.
Transitioning to drunk witchcraft. This is no longer the pot coven. It is now occasional drunk witchcraft on Instagram.
Yeah, dude, let's just change the Power of
I'm
Three
so
page to
down.
drunk witchcraft.
I mean, we don't
LA.
even always have to be drunk. Just like lives with us randomly.
It's true. It's true. But we never did drunk witchcraft enough for my liking.
I
It just didn't work
agree.
out.
And
It's
we
just a
didn't
hard
get
thing to
drunk
schedule.
enough in the drunk witchcraft either.
Yeah. Yeah.
We needed more
So
occasions and more drinking. But yeah, I agree. I think it would be awesome if we could do like even a seasonal thing, like with like either like the sabbats or like the whatever, like quarterly or something, once in the summer, spring, fall, etc., that kind of thing. Just like have some occasions of drunk witchcraft. That sounds like dope. That sounds dope.
yeah, let's
I'm in.
definitely plan to meet face to face through a screen, and have other people show up.
Yes, this isn't the end. This is
Uh,
just a transition into something different.
yeah.
My desires are so kinky.
Oh, tell us.
No, I mean like this.
Girl, we're gonna need a new podcast
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah. I mean, that
Kinky
sounds like
thoughts.
drunken witchcraft.
Kink craft.
Kinkcraft.
Witch kink.
All right.
I
Go.
have another desire to pull some cards to like, I don't know, just
Yeah.
see energy behind like our friendship, what might be coming next or whatever. So I have the Akashic Records Oracle deck. Seemed fitting.
Right.
Let's look into what that might mean for us. As everyone pulls
I
their
want to
cards.
pull. Yeah, I want to pull cards too. It's not our first time on the podcast doing that.
Right.
We ain't no virgins here.
Well, what's a virgin?
Lit the black flame candle.
As my dad told me when I asked when I was in kindergarten, a virgin is someone who's never been in love before.
Aw, I actually like that. That seems more accurate.
I mean, little did he know I was in love.
Oh,
So
was
I
it Leonardo
thought I wasn't a
DiCaprio? Because
virgin.
that was for me.
No, I had a boyfriend named Anthony Pills for many years when I was a child.
All right.
My first love. I've tried to find him. I'm sure it's probably not like I have very, very low expectations for what he might be doing with his life now, but I can't find any Anthony Pills online.
I hate when people don't have the decency to have social media for me to stalk them on. Like, that's fucking rude. How dare you?
Okay, that feels right. I'm gonna pull past, present, future, personally.
Okay. I like that. Aw. Aw, you guys, I got like the best ones.
I was missing 2 cards from my deck when I shuffled, so I'm going to do that again. They were just
All
sitting.
right.
Shuffle Mancy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the past and the present card make a lot of sense, I feel like, and we'll have to discuss the future to see what that means.
Yes.
I was going to say before, one of the memories was Ella's Rob being on our Libra season episode because his birthday was like a day or two ago, wasn't it? I think it might have been Monday. The Libra boy.
That's like the 26th or something. When's Rob's B-Day?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. That's my mom's birthday too. That's nuts. I'm sure we probably figured that out back then, but
maybe. Yeah, and then his party will be on Saturday. Oh. I'm throwing him. I've only told one of my friends this, but he built this. He's doing 3D game development and like media and stuff like that as like his work at home. And so he made this bar for his game that he's building, and I'm gonna recreate it inside of our like pop-up tents down in the yard for him.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I was like, because I mean, having his friends over for barbecue is totally fine, like have all the boys and, like all the kids run around, it's nice to have our family and stuff. But just like, it's so fun to like plan little surprises for him because he loves it. He's a Libra, So anytime you show him like that you really care, he's just like, oh my God, yes. He's one of my favorite people to throw parties for because he's just like, yes, this is so cool.
Aww, that's nice. All right, tell us your cards.
All right,
tell us your cards.
For past, I got Prince of Pentacles.
Aww. Cute.
Hard to do it on the green screen.
What are your thoughts on the Prince of Pentacles for our past?
I feel like it speaks to the work and the patience that we all showed, like in learning to work with each other and, kind of even doing our own inner work at the same time, like collectively just like rising above the levels of where we were and, really building a solid foundation. Because I think when I see like the Prince of Wands or the Prince of Swords, I'm always like, oh, leap into action. Oh, like go fast, but then Prince of Pentacles, he's always so much more reserved. And even though he's still in that stage of like naivety, he's still like, let's gather the information and make calculated decisions rather than like balls to the wall. Prince of Wands being like, we going. I ain't even got a sword, y'all. I got a wand. Let's go. What the
fuck? The wand is just his dick.
Yes, then the wand is his dick.
Exactly. Face.
Slap you in the face. And then for present, I got the Lady, which I feel is also fitting because we all are in a stage of expansion and growth and creativity and, like even not just professionally, but in our own personal lives, we're blooming and we're growing and we're bringing to the world new, beautiful things.
I love it. Okay, so what's our future?
You guys are going to love this. It's the Three of Pentacles.
Oh,
that's so nice. It means we get to work together again. That's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing like the 3 stars with the guy, and I'm just like, this means that we're going to do more stuff together, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. Even, not
cards that confirms it even more.
Yes.
Yeah, like we don't have to stop working together, but
exactly.
this was a lot of energy, and we gave it a lot to and we're ready to release it and transmute this energy. So that's fun.
Yes. It's making way for new stuff because like you said, we didn't get to do drunk witchcraft enough. It was something that was always interesting to all of us that we all wanted to do. And we always had too much research or too much episodes or too many interviews or, like we were always so busy. And so it is actually kind of cool to come to the end of it and like, get to enjoy it and appreciate it and then be like, cool, what's next? Like, are we going to get to do some drunk witchcraft in the future? Do we have, space to do other projects, like maybe courses together, or do we have like, can we hype each other up more or like, whatever it is, you guys are always my biz babes, for life. I fucking love you guys so much. I'll always support you. Always be in your corner.
Business wives. Okay, I'm gonna swoop in and go next.
Yep, go next.
Because I decided to. Okay.
Save the best.
I just feel like we've great. I feel like Jess's cards are gonna like. I just feel like they're going to say so much. So I want to end with Jess's cards. So for the past, I pulled the 10 of Wands, which made me laugh because especially on this deck, it has like words on some of the cards and it just says demands and overload. Like, yeah, okay, you read us. Yes,
all right.
It became too much to do this podcast. So that's a read. But, it's also valuable to see that the cards are like, yeah, it became too much to do. So for the present, I pulled the Hanged Man reversed, and I thought that it feels like very on par for what's happening like right now in this moment. Like we are suspended. We're thinking about the past, literally talking about memories in this episode, but also, will we ever be able to get off this call? Because you know what that means when we get off this call, then it's officially done.
I know.
So it felt that's at least my what I was thinking when I pulled that card, you know, because the energy's blocked. Like, you know, we could be reflecting on the past and learning and growing, but we're like, no, we're reflecting on the past and let's just stay there.
Stay here forever. This call's never gonna end.
And so for the future, I pulled the Knight of Wands. So when you were talking about the Prince of Wands, I was laughing. Like, oh, okay. So for the Knight of Wands, I mean, I see this person as someone who just boldly goes after exactly what they want from life. Like the Wands cards are very intuitive in a way that's very different from the cups. Like the cups are intuitive, like I'm feeling what other people are feeling. I'm sensing these things. Whereas the intuition in the wands is like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to listen to this voice that tells me to go right. I'm going to listen to this little voice inside my head that tells me to dive in, jump into that. So it's boldly going after the things we want to achieve. So I think that's a very good vibe. You know, it's a revived and refreshed energy. Whereas, like, we also have the Ten of Wands here, which, you know, is the end of the wand suit. And then here we've got the rambunctious, passionate go getter, the Knight of Wands. So that's fun.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That very much, that's who we are now. We are now the Knight of Wands. All right, let's go
Well,
do the
yeah.
thing.
We've talked about we're freeing up some energy in our lives, and it's like now we can transmute it and put it towards other things, and I think that's really exciting and fun, and I can't wait to see where it all goes.
Hell yeah.
So, Jess, want to read your cards?
All right. So I pulled card number 20, karmic board. And so our situation was set before the karmic board. Like they were looking down on us and called us into being to assist others to transcend. And I'm putting that in quotes because that's like you can use different terminology or whatnot, but we were brought here together to help younger witches, spiritual beings, to really tap into their own magic and to really release the dogma and shame around their own witch wounds and help propel them into, which also then in turn helped us propel into our highest witchy selves and whatnot. So I feel like that card is very fitting.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
like it.
being like this karmic situation that was supposed to come into being. And then for our present, I pulled card number 28, 10, 1, number 1, and that's present lives. So that's to heal and gain clarity in garden sanctuary, create peace and harmony in your present timeline, peace and harmony in your present timeline. And that's really what we're doing in dissolving this podcast at the moment, is really gaining that clarity within our own lives, what we want to be doing. It's an activation of abundance, health, and happiness. The karma of the day is the focus, not of yesterday or tomorrow. Be grounded and present and move into action on this project of relationship.
Wow. That's a good one.
That's spot on.
Yeah, that's very cool and reassuring.
Yeah. And so our last and our future card is number 6, Cosmic Lives. Seek the help and assistance of the universe. Create your Stargate to journey through to other worlds. Look for the Galactic Council messages around you. You may have work to do with the Star Councils. This is a cosmic soul relationship in your life. So
Yeah.
Aww, I love it. I feel like all the cards that were pulled are just so perfect.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your last card, Ella, you specifically said we will work together again. This is
Mhm.
cosmic. This is a cosmic relationship. We are there. We are like bound to each other in some frame. So there will be something in the future where we are all together again.
I love it.
No.
Catch us for drunk witchcraft. uh,
Make sure to leave some wine out on your altar as well.
yes.
We may come and visit.
Okay. Ella, tell
Mhm.
people where to find you, what you're up to, how to keep in touch with you.
All right. Okay. Well, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram and or TikTok. I have the same handle. It's at the.celestial.rose. Those are my most active places. I'm gearing up for the holidays, making a bunch of herbal smoke wands, and I'm actually focusing on gifts for men this year. I've got some charms for people who like ride motorcycles and ATVs. I know that's not just men, but I've got a target group this year. It's wives. I'm making tattoo balm. I'm making beard and hair oils. I'm making all kinds of shit. So watch my shop for that. Doing tarot readings, all the same stuff. If you don't have socials, you can email me at celestialroseservices@gmail.com. Jess, what's your socials?
So before I get into my socials, I just want one more reminiscent thing. I think this was before we actually started the podcast. Jasmine had posted a story and it was like, what 3 things do you need to summon me?
Mm.
This reminded me because I was like, you said put the wine on your altar, and then I believe that we should all 3 say what we would like, one thing that we would need to summon the power of 3. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Like if we each required an item.
Yeah, and then you can have all 3 of us in your whatever, in your realm.
Right. If you wanted to summon us on your altar, what 3 items?
Coffee. I don't do anything if I don't have coffee. Sorry. Put some
Like
oat
that's
milk
the
and honey
bare
in it. We're
minimum if
good from
Ella's
there.
coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some coffee.
Mm. I think you're probably gonna have to make a sigil to get me to join the party with my name. A sigil from my name, Jasmine.
And then you're going to need an enchanted tube of chapstick to perform some glamour magic.
That's a
mean,
good one.
I like it. I like
Mhm.
that's, you set them up in a little triangle and there you go. Poof. Our energy will be there. So, if anyone wants to summon us again, if you're like, we need a live, we need a drunk witchcraft episode, we need something from them, put that stuff on your altar, see what happens.
Yeah.
Sounds like a spell to me.
Right.
We're gonna come back from beyond the grave one day and be like, who summoned us? And we didn't think anyone would ever do it, but you did.
Are you a listener?
All right. And on that note, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook under the Cloak of Love. Some of my TikToks are still under loving.incantations because, changing all your socials is hard to get
It is.
accomplished. But currently, I am doing a lot more with my personal one-on-one coaching. I didn't host it. I was a part of Fear to Fuck It online intensive, which is a transformational event where you get 5 days of one-on-one coaching plus a whole lot of fucking other tools, live master classes, and all of that good stuff. So, yeah, that was really intense. And moving forward, I am working on my reparenting course. I'm hoping to have that out by the end of the year, I think is my timeline for there. So it's reparenting the self. All of the things your parents didn't do for you that you now need to heal yourself for, in a nutshell. Yeah, so Don't be a stranger. Come find us there. Jasmine, what about you?
First, I'd like to apologize. Oh, okay. There's some lawn mowing going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some of that in the background, but it is what it is. Yeah, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at satin.saturn. I am on Twitter too, but it's satin_Saturn_, because apparently someone took satin.saturn, whatever. Or I don't think you can have dots in you can't have a period in your Twitter handle. And I think I tried like other variations and it just didn't work. Anyway, I also just don't really have a big following at all on Twitter, which makes it fun because sometimes I just share really out of pocket stuff on there. Anyway, follow me if you want. Yeah, TikTok's really blowing up right now. I think I'm up to 116,000 followers. Woo woo.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, this is going to be my last course. It's really more of a container, if anything. It's called Not So Basic Witch. Mm-hmm. So if you'll remember, I definitely advertised it, I believe, on this podcast earlier. In the summer, I did a course called Basic Witch, which was a self-led beginner witchcraft course, really setting up that solid foundation. And as I was making that course, I was like, oh shit, I would love to like work with these people one-on-one. I would love, or, you know, just have a more active role in their journey. So whereas Basic Witch was learning, like, it was about learning and foundations. And yeah, you were prompted to go on your own journey through it. And do your own research based off of, you know, the jumping point that was each of the week's lesson plans. Not So Basic Witch is like we're all meeting for group calls. There's journal questions. There's activities every week. We're following the moon. We're going to have a Voxer chat so we can all talk about what's going on. This is really like the part of witchcraft that is about setting up your routines, creating that discipline and that diligence, and really meeting yourself as you do that and seeing, you know, who the fuck you are, who the fuck shows up. So yeah, it's going to be yummy. I'm really excited to do it with everyone throughout, you know, fall. It's going to take us right through the eclipses. It ends on December 9th. So it starts on October 15th all the way through December 9th. If you're in a funky time zone and you're like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, show up for the calls. Don't worry, there's already people from Australia in the mix. If you are from Australia, just know that the calls will be on Friday instead of Thursday because that's how time zones work. Anyway, that's all to say. I'm excited for it. And if you're interested, definitely head to my Instagram, hit me up, click links in bios, sign up for my newsletter. You know the jam. You know how this stuff works. We would love to interact with you guys more off the pod. So please don't be a stranger.
Mm-hmm. And you can always still email us at power3 with power3podcast.
Power of Three Witch Podcast.
I can't fucking say you tried so hard.
Witch podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
that's
still
not that's not going anywhere. It's just a Gmail account. So
you can email us. Go for it. We're all on there.
Yeah. All right, you guys. And remember, you can always go back and listen to old episodes. There are a lot of episodes. So I'm sure there's some you haven't listened to. And, you know, minus those first couple ones in the first season, they're great. They're fantastic episodes. I mean, if you like cringy stuff, go ahead and listen to those first episodes. All right. Well, this is the last one, ladies. Are you ready? Bye.
Bye.
We love you. Goodbye.
Aw, that was the nicest one.
Yeah, that was cute.